Meet Ananya. She hails from a lower tier 2 college in India but graduated top of her class. She even managed to find a remote research internship with UIUC. She is the founding member of a small AI startup in India. Super sharp, wants to build a career in AI infrastructure and architecture. She's working with me this year and has decided to take her chances by applying for masters in US for fall 2026. And then meet Saurabh. He hails from VIT Vellore. He is looking for a stable job and does not have much clarity on his career goals. I have told him to skip US this year. The point is, MS in US is not a no-brainer anymore. My advice changes from case to case basis. Now, because I've been in this space for more than 12 years now, these are some of my predictions for study abroad in fall 2026, especially keeping US in mind. All this on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nishtha from Scholar Strategy and 24 North Star. Interesting video today. By the way, if you're finding the information useful, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Now, as I said, I've been watching this space very closely and especially looking at US. These are some of my predictions for what we will see this application season. So let's get to the point, and here's my first prediction or trend, you can say. We will see a massive decline in the number of US applicants this year. Now, there has already been a 44% decline in the number of Indian students who got visa for US this year. So I easily see a decline of 55% in candidates who will head to US next year. What does this mean for you? It means lower competition in top universities and even scholarships. So you can afford to be a little bit more ambitious if you are applying to US. You can try negotiating for scholarships, assistantships also, because they do need talent. Number two is the impact of all the H1B changes. The 100K H1B fee will scare off recruiters like TCS, Infosys, and many other staffing companies. And when we look at the wage-based lottery selection change, it means that it will directly impact the mediocre freshers. But if you are talented, employers would be willing to pay you higher dollars. So overall, this will impact how many people apply for H1B lottery. The competition would be lower in quantity but higher in quality. What it means for you is that the US dream for an average student is probably going to crash. But if you are super talented and exceptional in your field, you are going to get noticed and even paid more for it. Number three is the OPT uncertainty. The whole attack on OPT, and it can get more intense going forward. I already did a video on OPT, please do check it out. But this means that a lot of smaller companies will find it cumbersome to hire people on OPT. So therefore, your dreams of working for small startups in the US is probably not going to materialize. You should be targeting big tech, MNCs, and companies which have the global mobility options. Number four is the O1 visa rush. As more and more Indians find out that H1B is getting more difficult and very expensive to get, they will turn towards the O1 visa route, which is given to people with extraordinary ability. However, when so many people start applying for it, the bar is going to grow higher. That means to qualify, you will need to show very serious kind of research profile, industry impact, or whatever the other components are there in your profile to qualify for this visa. So if you are at all thinking about the O1, you should start working right now on your patent history, publications, and all the shenanigans. Before I proceed with the fifth point, let me tell you that we are having some interesting and intense conversations on our private community called Inner Circle. We are discussing many non-US options like Germany, Netherlands, etc. We have mentors from there, and everybody is figuring out how to best navigate this application season. If that is something of interest to you, then I'm leaving the details in the description box below. Check it out and do join us to work more closely with me. Number five is unpredictable university quotas. There is a pressure on US universities to cap foreign intake this year. In fact, Trump government sent memo to 9 universities including MIT, Dartmouth, and UPenn that they should not accept more than 15% international students this year. So, but the thing is, the rules are still unclear. We don't know who does it apply to, who will adopt this policy, and the number itself might keep changing. So we are expecting that some schools might drastically cut their foreign admits this year and some might quietly increase it to balance the budgets. So for you, what it means is that you have to apply broad. You cannot rely on Ivy League or top ranked universities alone, and do watch out for sudden changes in the admit rates. Number 6 is big tech goes global and so should you. So if big tech companies really want to retain someone, they always find a way to maybe relocate them to their offices in Canada, Europe or other countries. So that is what I see more of happening, because they might not want to pay that 100k H1B for every single employee, but they might still want to retain them in their foreign offices. I'm also seeing many MS students are coming back to India for their internships or going to Middle East for their jobs. The point is, you can still work for Microsoft, Google kind of companies, but maybe not in US alone. So keep your options open. Global mobility can be your big advantage. Number 7 is the peer quality goes up. Now only the most determined and highly qualified international students are going to be applying to US. So next year, your classroom, the peer group is going to be very, very high in quality. This opens incredible networking and learning opportunities. So if you're somebody who knows how to build and leverage a network, this can be your time. You can build a network for a lifetime. Number 8 is rising OPT and H1B taxes. Now there are some proposals like Dignity Act or Hire Act that want OPT students to start paying the Social Security and Medicare taxes. So the taxes are going to be higher on OPT. They're also proposing extra taxes on employers who are outsourcing the work. So this means that your postmaster's salary, in-hand salary, is going to be lower and fewer employers might want to hire you. So now you have to do the ROI calculations very, very carefully. There's no point in taking massive education loan and going for a degree where the average salary is only 60 to 70,000 US dollars. It may not be worth anymore. Lastly, US is going to lose massive talent to Europe, Australia and other places. This is the first time actually when US is not the first choice for smartest Indian applicants. They are looking at Germany, Netherlands, Australia, Canada, UK and many other countries for their applications. By the way, the competition in those countries is now going to be much higher. And as I said, this is what I am actively discussing in our inner circle group, and our clients are applying all across the globe and trying to create the best options for themselves. So you need to diversify your options, create choices so that you can choose more wisely next year, because we don't know what the situation is going to be. There's no point in predicting it. The only thing you can do is be well prepared for it. While others are regretting not even trying, you will have good options in your hand and you can make a more smart choice based on wherever the world is next year. So these were some of the predictions. Come, what does it mean for you? Come, action advice from my side to the Indian applicants who are still looking at various options, who are still looking at US but not sure whether to go for it or not. I hope this video gives you some more clarity. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.